Coach Lucas Watkins at Cumberland. Coach, you lose Trevin McGee, you lose Gavin Hendricks, you lose Maddox McElravy, especially the wide receiving core on the offensive side. How are you adjusting to filling those roles this year?
We're just kind of taking the mentality of bringing the young kids up that have been in the system here for a couple of years and looking to replace them. Those kids that you mentioned are big-bodied kids, quick kids, tough to replace. We're fortunate to bring back a kid in Blake McMeekin that, is a kid that can run the ball for us. He can also play receiver for us. We've got some younger kids, like I said, that have kind of just been sitting and playing behind those guys that you talked about. They've been playing at the JV level, and I think we have some kids that can fill in there. Kelby Bierman being one of them. He looked really good in JV last year. Zach Harmon's a kid that's 6'6", and he's just a sophomore and still trying to figure out his body, but I think he can be a weapon for us. And we've got a couple other sophomores and Cade McMeekin and Logan Gerhart that can kind of fill that role too.
Blake McMeekin, senior. Blake, what are some of the expectations for yourself for your senior year?
Get out there and play as hard as I can and, do the best I can to help this team win.
How do you adjust to losing Trevin McGee, to losing Max McElravy, Gavin Hendricks? What are the adjustments you guys are making on the offensive side?
So we're just having to put, young guys in their positions and hope they can fill their shoes, which they've been looking good these past few practices. What excites me the most is getting out here and, playing with guys that haven't played varsity football yet. It's going to be a whole different experience, but it's going to be fun. Road's going to be tough sometimes, but that's part of playing football.
What are some of your goals for your individual play this year?
Trying to stay mentally tough. We have a young team, so I can't get down whenever things aren't going good. We just have to battle through it and keep going.
Going off of last year's 7-2 team, what can this team accomplish? How far can they go? Explain that.
I think we can do just as good as we did last year. Conferences, you're always looking at conference, you're looking at playoffs, and, from there, anything can happen in playoffs.
Set, go ahead. Drive. Set, go ahead. Right. Oh. They almost on Doug. That is how you do it. About makes you perfect. Good. Get outside. Go. Good. Go. Good, Grant.
As far as the quarterback position, taking over for Bryant Weber is Braden Olmstead. What have you noticed so much about him, but also what excites you the most as he takes over for a good player like Bryant?
The biggest thing with Braden is just his leadership and his just ability to retain things. He's a smart kid. He's a good kid. He understands the offense. He's another kid that's, he's kind of just been sitting patiently, has played at the JV level for the last 3 years, and now he gets his chance to go to the varsity level. So with him being in the system for 3 years, he understands the offense very well. He understands what everybody's supposed to do. And his leadership skills and his intelligence is what kind of stands out to me with Braden.
Cumberland quarterback Braden Olmstead. Braden, tell me about what is going to be the transition like for you as far as a challenge set your way, taking over for Bryant Weber at quarterback.
It's just like the first year varsity quarterback. There's going to be a lot more that I got to learn. I got to play a lot better than I've ever had to. But I've got faith that me and the guys can do it. I've got a good team behind me, so I'm not too worried about it.
How do you feel like practices have come along just with the team in general?
We've been doing a really good job. We've been learning quickly. We've been getting places where we need to be. For the most part, everything's been looking really sharp, so it's looking good so far.
The transition of losing Trevin McGee, Maddox McElravy, a couple of the studs on the team. What's the transition been like on the wide receiving core as well?
Yeah, we lost some big names last year, but I have faith that these guys that we have coming up, I think they can step up, and I think they can be good playmakers when we need them to be.
What players have stood out to you the most in practice?
Well, we obviously got Blake McMeekin. He's going to be one of our main receiving running threats on the offense. Grant Kaiser, he's going to be in the backfield with me, and then at that middle linebacker position, he's just going to be scary there. And then we got Kelby Bierman, who's probably going to be we have a couple main receivers. And then on the line, we got Owen McGinnis back at center, and I'm looking forward to being with him. I got good faith in him. And then we got Ethan Darling and Hunter Kemper, those two lineman positions, and I think they can do their jobs and they can keep me safe.
Overall season projection, conference-wise, record-wise, what's this team potential as far as ceiling that they can actually hit?
Potential, I genuinely think we can do just as good as last year. Like we got to get our stuff together and we got to play very well. But I think we can do a lot of very good things, and we can make it just as far as they did last year, 7-2 with playoffs ahead.
As far as a conference-wise, you don't have to worry about the one of the best players in the state of Illinois, Caden Fagan, who's at Illinois, of course, from Arthur. What's that like, even though you've beat him the last few years, but what's it like not having to prep for him in the conference-wise?
It's nice. I mean, he's one, that was, like, I think I quote, he's a generational player, one you don't see every year. It's nice to not have to know that he's there, but like you alluded to, he'd never beat us in high school, which that's kind of an attribute to our kids there. So it'll be nice not seeing him and not having to worry about him.
So you don't have to worry about the elephant in the room this year, Caden Fagan from Arthur, who's now at Illinois.
Yes, sir.
What's that like? I know you've beaten him last few years, but what's that like not having to worry about a Division I type athlete going up against?
It's nice, like just having that one guy that we had to worry about, and now that he's not here, that puts a lot of pressure off of our defense, off of our linebackers, and there's not as much pressure around the game as a whole.
Conference-wise, you added Nokomis. You keep Sullivan. Sullivan's much improved this year. What are going to be some of the expectations for the team-wise as far as the conference? What can this team strive for too?
Well, I think you always have a goal, as far as conference goes, to win conference. We were able to do that last year. This year it may look a little different, like you said, with Sullivan and Nokomis coming in. I think those are quality programs. Sullivan's kind of hit a resurgence here in the last couple of years, and I expect them to be kind of at the top of the conference this year. And I think Nokomis, from what I hear, was young last year, and they'll be another solid team. So it won't be easy, but that's what you like as a coach, to be challenged throughout the season to hopefully get you prepared for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a good conference that we're in. There's a lot of tough teams and tough competition. But like I said earlier, I genuinely think we can go very far and do very well this year in our conference.
What excites you the most about this upcoming season?
I'm just excited to play football, play the game with these guys that I've been around for so long. I've been playing the game since 4th grade with a lot of these same guys out here now. So just the thought of that just excites me.
I think offensively, I'm excited to see what Blake can do this year. I mean, he played really, really well as a junior. I'm excited to see what Braden Olmsted can do. I'm just excited about seeing these kids step into different roles and seeing if they can succeed. Defensively, I think again we're gonna have to grow. I think we're looking at starting 4 sophomores on the defensive side of the ball. So I think what excites me is just seeing our growth over the season. And like I said, we're probably going to be better week 8 or 9 than we are week 1 and 2. We may have some growing pains along the line, but just the potential is what excites me with this group.
Set, go. Set, go. 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 Step.
Right.
Good.
Left.
Step.
Left.
Step.
Right.
Step.
Left.
Step.
Right.
Good. Good. All right. Next group. All right. Now we're going 1, 2, 3. Okay. Hand is here. His butt is down. We're gonna get hands on. All right. We're gonna rip with the right. Then we're gonna squat big in the hole. Okay. So we're working on ripping off the blocks of the offensive linemen or the backs that are coming to you. Okay.
And speaking of the younger underclassmen, sounds like you have a pretty good number for freshmen and sophomores. What is that like for you as a coach, knowing that you have players coming up that are going to gain experience in the varsity level soon?
It's a good feeling. Like you said, our numbers are really, really good. I think we've got 21 sophomores out and 15 freshmen out for a 1A program. That's really good. Our upperclassmen, our seniors and juniors, are kind of a little low. We have 7 each in that class. But it's good for those kids, and some of them even had to learn as freshmen last year that are sophomores this year. They got some playing time. So this year we'll probably have, a couple more that'll have to take an expanded role and have to get acclimated to varsity football pretty quick.
You've been here for quite a while now, but also, what excites you the most about being a head coach?
Just the kids, the growth, the maturation that you see with these kids, trying to teach them something, seeing when they come in at the beginning of the year and then seeing them leave at the end of the year, and hopefully they become a better individual. And just the game of football is just something I love. I love the X's and O's of it, and just being around kids and watching them grow and hopefully turning them into better kids, better individuals, is probably the best part of coaching.
Would you consider yourself as more of a sleeper team this year, or you're not really sure what to expect at the moment?
Well, I don't. That's a good question. I don't really know. I think people could probably look at us and see our productivity and what we lost from last year, and maybe think that we would be down a little bit. I think with us, our success will depend upon how quickly our young kids grow up, and we've got a lot of kids that are going to have to get used to playing varsity football. And as a coach, you're hopeful that you're playing your best football at the end of the season, and I'm kind of curious to see how we grow throughout the season. Like I said, if our young kids can get acclimated to varsity football, and our kids that haven't played a lot of varsity can make that step, I think we'll be okay.
What are some goals for yourself as far as an individual accolades for your senior year?
Goals for myself, I'm just trying to play the best football that I can. I'm trying to stay positive through it all, not getting my head down, and then just like coming back whenever bad things happen, because bad things are bound to happen in football.
Just go. Get there.
Is how quickly can we grow up? I could see us, if things don't go well and we don't make that transition, you're looking at 2, 3, 4 wins. If we figure stuff out and come out and don't turn the football over and do the stuff that we've coached these kids to do and taught these kids to do, we could be pretty successful. I'm not going to put a specific number on it, but I mean, one goal is like we talked about is to win conference, and then get in the playoffs and then make as deep of a run as you possibly can.
Come on, stand up. Come on. 1, 2, 3, fire.